Okay, let's do the board member roll call. Okay.
Roll call.
Joan?
Charles Long?
Here.
Here.
Michael?
Here.
Kevin?
Okay. A quorum. I to approval of agenda.
You have one on superintendent's reports number 3. We're going to June this evening on the next meeting.
Okay. There's a little change. The superintendent, that's in your motion.
Yes, that's included in the motion.
Okay, thank you. Roll call. Joan?
Mr. Mitchell? Ms. Tito? Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Mortensen?
Yes.
Long?
Here we go.
President Long, good school board members, superintendent, I'd like to let you know that this presentation will be added for Mitchell with what he might say, or did you want me to go?
You can go and I'll just follow.
Okay. To line up single file. So tonight we're in the presence of royalty here as a fine young lady became Friday, August 11th. I'm pretty familiar with that time because performances, and as the director of performances, very proud that one of our students who was a valedictorian from Tohatchee High School and graduated in 2015, her life towards education. She was the Rotary Senior of the Month. She currently a student at Colorado College, and she plans to study studies, which my area as well, and indigenous studies. Four I saw and very involved in their community, and she's an individual. As Miss Ceremony number 1, a certificate and recognize Miss Indian just a couple of years ago. Will you please come up? Great. I got congratulations.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to Honorable Mark. She has been student in the I represent Tohatchee High, and I followed her as far as with her station, and was very honored her diploma and certificate. She was association and that is out of, I think we're districts in, and he was the one who was all. That is one of the very greatest award through the state. I would like to also say, Ms. Zenema Martin is very, very fortunate to have the parent that she has. Ms. Alonta Jim and Mr. Bobby Martin. I attended the whole ceremonial and just observing them as parents, so their daughter. You're a very, very lucky girl, and you'll be leaving in a couple abroad. Wish you well, and I know that you're going to be very successful. All that you behind. And congratulations, and we.
I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Martin, and in the newly crowned Miss Gallup Intertribal Indian Ceremony. At the meeting. It's my third year of college, and it's been a struggle. Tachi is a reservation public. We don't have this education. We're 2 years behind national, with their curriculum and their academic standards. So I did struggle, going to a non-reservation college, and that's, it's a level liberal. So it's but I'm in there done to get my bachelor's, and I share my form with you. What I shared the whole week is to help educate all cultures from around the world about how to protect indigenous people, helping indigenous people, and Mexican with Aztec and Maya from around the world. And I really am proud of, and I try to spread that message of being proud of who you are, who your religions, their cultural spiritualities. So I really want to share that with everywhere that I've been traveling. So and I've just been that I will be going to study abroad in New Zealand this fall semester. I'll be working with another indigenous, and I was at the Navajo reservation, and we had our exchanges about trying to work systems that we're in, and on cultures that go to protect our people. As you can see, I'm in my traditional attire today, but I also have a mask that I had got from some police. So I thank Ito and Phil because past I did get up 2 years ago, and I tried to have this role. I'm to have Percy and Kevin have been there, since I was a little girl. They've helped not only myself, but so many other of my friends from all different reservations to help us support us, because we're support programs to come out to my mural arts class, just seeing how the non-reservation public schools treated. It's really saddening. So I really want to help advocate for our rights, just as those who are non-native. So that's really what I really advocate to teach in our history classes. I think it's really important to teach not all our community leaders, everyone, about our history, not only what happened in this country for and so on, but we really need to acknowledge all these different peoples, whose our culture matter. We don't only exist in history books. I think it's important to get to. Yes, we need to learn about the U.S. government, about government and history. We need to learn about history because that wasn't. If that was something that didn't make the title, wouldn't be. Who's going to represent if they don't know their tribe, don't know their culture, if they don't know passion in this session. I really want to thank them because they were there the whole time. We keep telling people that this crown and this title is help me with stuff about indigenous people if it weren't because they in high school, in mid school, they didn't teach in elementary school. Teach, Navajo culture and language to be expanded. It's something that should be like a branching at all. And like I said, not only students, community members as well. Thank you for having me here. I'm really honored to have this title tonight.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes. Priscilla?
should I royat deshni may get negative remarks again, but it's okay. I was told by I'm not a strong person because I cry, but this is a wonderful moment where she appreciate your endurance, your strength, and your ability to come. Challenge when you don't make it and win the crown, and we were all, but it's incredible on and parade seeing all the princesses came, all the little girls, and getting all the were coming. You know that you have, even with your little sisters, you have that they can look up to, and I know you're going to do a really job doing that. And you know, there's many accomplishments, so many that have different communities that are doctors and lawyers, and you know, I think having a title as ceremonial, you know, all prestigious titles for us. You're and I'm very proud. And also to my brother and my sister, I can't. Gosh, and parents, you know, it's hard. With like two lives, you have to raise them, and then in a native site, and you have to combine them to make sure on each side. More people understood sometimes within your heart, and you do. I think that's why I fight so hard to revise our language and because that's our identity, that's who we are, and you're going to represent that for us. Thank you wholeheartedly for that article, and I know that you're going to do well. You're going to graduate to the best community, and you will be up here running the kids and being that voice for them, but I know you'll be out there being the voices for them. So thank you to all of you guys for coming, and thank you, Ms. Terry, bringing this recognition to the insight of all our community members here and watching online, and to the board members. Thank you.
Thank you. Priscilla. Down to number approval of meeting minutes. Board members, copies of the meeting minutes. Would like to take a vote. Okay. To approve minutes.
President, I did questions, and they were answered mainly towards the budget by Mr. Hyatt earlier this afternoon. And I think the only place that a bit of clarification is studies. One, after it says holding, it says comment that was concerned with math, a long-term sub. It's not. Okay. I said something about it. Having a long time, having a that I think I had 2 years in there somewhere that I put on.
Okay. John?
Mr. Mitchell? Ms. Lito? Mr.
Yes.
Navajo Nation leader, Jackson Gibson. He was a member of the Mexico State Highway Commission at the time of his passing. He passed away last Thursday, and his is going to be Wednesday. Gallup First Baptist Church. He's been working with the Navajo Nation for a number of years, and during his on the highway committee, he helped with a lot of state highway projects. So I'd like to do a silence for him. Thank you. Go down to the members.
President, I move to approve the agenda items.
Okay. Agenda items. Motion made by Chris Morton.
Mr. Mitchell? Ms. May?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Mortensen?
Yes.
Mr. Long?
Yes. Okay, let's go down to study public comment. Sunshine.
Yadesh. My name is Sanlatza Jim Martin, and also known as the Nation in McKinley. I'm here speaking as by saying to everyone. I'm very excited and for Gallup McKinley schools. I was for Zanaba this evening. It's been all her doing. She the credit. She's the one that mine to she's the one that put talent and skills to the competition and putting in hours for all her efforts, because she doing and it in beyond capable of. So I'm very proud, amazed at what she was do for that. I'm also very grateful. I really feel it's important for me to recognize both of you as a parent, as you, my daughter, and all of our children so much as school board members. Know you. We talked to you about improvements that were needed in our schools. You were and willing to help us. Children had concerns about how schools were running. They saw as you, as students in these schools, you listened. We needed to support them with fundraisers and be at events as a special guest so that they could go to the Business Professionals of America or to a youth leadership conference or competition. To encouraging them and saying, "You can do best," and you would show. That's the most important thing for me as a parent, is that just others were in the school system come to you and say, "President of Student Council of this or that wants you there." You best, and as our representative in our community, and as the former school board president. So I think it's so important to acknowledge how you've influenced my children. Lastly, they to super school board members, those in administration who decided nice day for regional cultural beliefs. Thank you for giving the option to parents. We can be in reverence and we could pay respect to the eclipse that happened today. We were in prayer. We were in a holy with my family, my mom's family, and it was really and my children got a lot of education from who they were even more, and they took time to learn new things. So with that, I want to thank you all for giving our students the chance to stay home and honor our tradition. Thank you so much again for all your efforts this year.
Thank you. Let's go down to reports, understudy. Superintendent's report.
President Long, I have several items. I want to offer your report sooner, but I'm going to hit at this particular time, and I'll give you further information tomorrow when I'm able to things that are. As I mentioned last time, it's been a great start to the school year. A lot of positive. We always have hurdles and bumps in the road as we begin a new. As I give you my report today, I'll let you know grade released today. They were in 3 o'clock tomorrow, and so I'll be releasing those to you as soon as possible. Talking more about that during the next. One of looking to find out what assets we have with respect to property in the district, and we are finding that several pieces of property are scattered off, not being used, and we're trying to get a value, potentially use those in order to make our district efficient. We found property in Ambrosia Lake, and so it's kind of to see where we're at with leveraging that property to efficient. Yes.
I have a question about our soul of that type of property be used.
It's a good question. So getting buildings on them that are not being used anymore. I would like to use that property. It can be sold. Sometimes there's certain we have to sell property. We receive that property. I believe that we can use it as we choose, but I'll bring you more information. We're just starting the seeing what we have and want to become more efficient.
I just want to make sure that the proceeds from that, or is it something that the whole may be better off keeping it and leveraging for improvements on our own, as opposed to pot and letting the state handle it?
It is our property, so this all of that from property can be sold, gifted, or it can be swapped, or we can improve it. So. Learned a lot over the weeks. And some things that well we've gone into an order did not order ordering those supplies now and continuing those into classrooms. And this is not a one-time thing or a first of the year thing. We'll be continuing seeing what are needed through and things that we can do better for and things we can do throughout the year. The next item is
Mr. Hyatt?
Mrs. Magdaleno.
just to have clarification, there were some concerns in my community that there was only tree, but the supplies are supposed to be for pre-K. Sir.
The thing is, it had some concerns from folks in my district as well. Exactly what these school supplies are. I mean, I understand we talked about like lab feed, like, I mean, is supplies like first, backpacks or things like that, or is it like supplies?
There's a lot of hurdles that we have a little bit more education about what these supplies are, not only to staff, also to parents. So these are the types of supplies that teachers just needs of education in their classrooms. So, for example, paper, those kinds of items, protractor, you might ask them about a ruler or markers, those types of things are student supplies. We're asking parents to buy bookcases or or things that teachers use. Different area when we purchase those items. Backpacks is not a basic need, so is any clothing that is a parent's responsibility. We do provide for shop supplies, vocational supplies, art, band, those types of things. We provide supplies also so that students are at ease. I hope that it that, but teachers that they were use that money to buy like staples, buy those items that a student would use. It's cool.
No, that clarifies things perfectly. I wanted to make sure spirit of the policy. When people ask, I can explain it to them.
We are, with respect to hiring positions and people to fill positions, really moving forward and teachers, and so we're should be fully staffed. We're going to still in the area with being fully staffed. Last couple things. There has been some changes in regard to some department. I want to make sure I have clarification of that. We had situations where we were not utilizing people according to their contracted number of hours during a school day. People paid for the time that they're working, and so again, and making sure that we're in charge appropriately. The next thing, the last things, just a few we had teachers in last week for training and them understand the future goals and the direction which we're making sure that everybody understands. And also we had principals meeting this week, and there was that were brought up in that meeting that we discussed and talked about, but training and their regard, having principals and also administrators making sure they have the tools to understand how to times whether that's a situation we have to correct, also making sure evaluations and going through that process so that would help these become better. And so that's all I have, President Long, members of the board. There's no other.
Any other questions?
If we could have just real simple notes or highlight training and also the leadership training that you just mentioned. Just real brief, the simple that you just throw together or put at your board.
I'll probably provide the agenda. That'll probably give you a lot of information and maybe a little bit more detail.
Questions? Down to our next report. It's coming up. There's two children here. I forgot to introduce their day reawakens. Good to the audience. So. Okay. Those in the audience, you don't eat them. The boys are going to eat all.
Good afternoon, members of. Thank you, and thank you for this time to report on cultural education. Just look at we have provided. I guess it's just to let you know what we're working on this year within the 3 programs that we have, working with Title VI, and then how would you say, coordinator. Relative is Sandy Freeland right behind me, and she's working Title III and the bilingual. She's handling very well. If you look at, I believe I plan, it kind of goes over what we are doing with 90 days, and that one of the big priorities are. And as we're doing this completely, that we're making compliant with the Title VI programs. We're kind of working with this, make sure they're right process. So we're continually doing that. We'll get it done by toward the end. Oh wow, maybe I did that one. Okay, that's my fault. That you have, Priscilla, is it's kind of very simple. Speak off of that. So within our Title VI, it says, and mainly what we concentrating on is professional development. So in that professional, in awareness, the culture is, again, we are not longer Navajo. We're also concentrating on looking at higher Hispanic as well. So into that, we Arab population. We do have the population. If we will start looking into that, but just of all the cultures within Gallup. So that being Title VI, well, off the cultural part. Title III, on the other hand, is what Sandy is working with, and she's doing the English language acquisition programs. That, again, is making sure that we bring in companies to address the EL, English language learners, and that's just a small portion. It's not the whole district. So we're working at that and doing very well in bringing that together. The program is our bilingual with mainly the native language programs, and just like I mentioned earlier, we had an orientation looking at, we kind of covered our program, and in working with the teachers, oral focus, the natural of first, just the year assessment, and because they need to speak, score well on that because it's a broad assessment, and in that assessment, constantly showing non-proficient students. The problem being, why proficient at this? Continue to show in that it would we're teaching. And the midterm assessments all oral in doing that. We address writing and reading in the higher levels in high school and stuff. But for the younger, really looking into oral language. Quick, synopsis of what we're doing within the program. If you have any
Questions, board members? Priscilla?
Just, I think this is exciting direction that we're, and I like went back and visited all the area that we're dedicating to the cultural aspect of our central office. It'll be really nice, all the resources there, and one for every lives will be something really. I'd like to comment that through high school, they got of books looked really interesting, that are all Native American based books, and I don't know where I from it, but it was one. I don't even know if it was a Gallup McKinley. It was during session of the National Talkers in Window Rock that I attended, and the children commented, we should learn this. Not to have that mission, talkers, is a disservice we're doing to ourselves by not recognizing for this nation, not just our Navajo Nation. I think if we start, and with you help, children realize we played an role, and I think that's something that I would really encourage our programs like these, to train those kind of children to.
And I would like Hyatt for making. We consider it a very special, sacred place for language, and it is very not and see it. It is very, a nice place that we have one Friday. Before I go stuff, let me introduce Dr. Freeland, the program that she that we're bringing on that really will benefit the district.
Thank you. And personnel here with McKinley County, take time. Dr. Freeland, I gave quick hours. Relation part of the bamboo reed, that's my mother, and Edgewater. So but I'm a water girl, however that works. But as relations go, the coordinator for Title III and bilingual is in the audience, colleague. We started when we already had a partnership with Sandwich Income to get a teachers, 80+ English learners that are determined by the state assessment for efficiency. And with the high percentage yields across groups, we need more endorsed teachers to address of and the initiative was received really well, and we had our first cohort over the summer. We had to take the test. It's a process in New Mexico. You have to apply. Once you've had groups audit the PED. Public. We love our acronyms in education. We call it the PED. They admit, and then for the tests, there's a for second language acquisition teachers, TESOL. There's also a bilingual TESOL endorsement. Once the test and pass the test, issued a license. What current license has needs an endorsement. And for that, we submit grantors for the type of application, X number of students equal the fewer dollars. So we have one teacher per volume of students who aren't being served because the teacher can't. So the more TESOL teachers we have, the better for the student, the better for the community, and the better for the district. So we had 13 that went through this first cohort, 7 applicants, and we're working on professors teach here. Has added on online courses for us, and so we're getting ready for our cohort. And because we have a high volume, if not, our teachers can pay up front their registration. We're probably looking at a second section within this first. We'll have a September and an October to December cohort if all works well. So cross your fingers that we work in that mode. Now we're take a 3-hour off and a 3-hour in the spring. Other tests. It's taken a lot of, but the ground laid in division was before we got here. Like that, and so all and teachers who more than a year. So other clarification is we don't want right out of college or who's just now acclimating to their teaching profession to take on a role on top of it. Yes, it is work. Classroom. That's enough program. Now, have any questions? That's where we're at.
Question?
I have a quick question. When you in here about English learners, language, what size or whatever classification?
This assessment, and we're a consortium in acronyms. Access indicator, and the entrance assessment, which is placing WAPT. New students are assessed as they enter the district. If they score level of a level 1, 2, 3, or 4 student, and the only way they're exited is if they get a 5 or more on the proficiency scale as their test. That and so all of this is now we have more TESOL in the strategies and the instructional students will rate. We don't have that, so we don't have data yet. We do have proficiency, high percentage of Yale students, and that's how they enter into the system of proficient limited.
Kindergarten. Don't speak don't English very good.
No, different assessment. It has speaking elements. I would say challenge for anybody. Take that assessment. one-on-one and
speak
it's
or
oral, yeah.
anything very good.
It's a tedious, but it is per application already that we provide accommodations to students who are in need of support so that they have a
As parents, what's a good way? I have a kid that's in campus here. What's a good way to make sure my son or whatever?
This is the educator side of me. I've been at this over 34 years. So the educator in me says, read, and let them talk. Let them talk. Even if spelling doesn't hurt. Speaking our speaking, develop their speaking, and we can expose them to as much literature as early as possible, regardless of their status.
You have the question?
Mr. President?
Yes.
To say that I'm really excited to hear the report. A major accomplishment in going through the year. This night plan to have set out. It's amazing. And I'm really putting a lot of faith in you that we get rolling and going. Thank you very much for your information. And I visited your back area. Construction going on, so I'm excited to see. You guys have. I stepped in there when you guys were having a meeting. You guys have your own little meeting room, and you're gonna have your own little place where you can sessions and stuff. So that's gonna be. You guys are finally getting that.
Thank you all. Superintendent, he's visited for as well.
And on the code talk, you know that the work everything, and I think it was classified into declassified until 1960. You won't find information. The best thing to do is the whole of. Last name is Hawthorne. He's from Hawk area. I think the one at the original post is still remaining. They give you a lot of information. That it's not a strategic session.
President Long, members of the board, I would like to shoot for September 19th. Strategic. Give you I'd like to shoot Friday.
Can we do it earlier in the week?
What day is best for you?
Even the 4th. The 4th Friday, I then.
How about the 20th? Is that works for you? And
Friday.
Just not Fridays?
The
14th? Everybody else?
I'm fine. That works for me. In general, what do you want to start at 8?
Location and
7.
location. So.
Pushing.
He owes us breakfast burrito.
I think you're going to leave that alone.
All right, President Long, members, shoot for September. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go down to number 3. juvenile justice.
Good evening, President Long, Board Superintendent Hyatt, Lori Para, and McKinney Services Director, County Government. Am here this evening to chat with you a little bit about our program and Crisis Center. I believe you just handed, as well as a that for our referral to case management. Brief program center, community know us as SAC. We are in the very front offices of the Juvenile Detention Center. Our program in 2001 facility, and then later incorporated cases in 2004 to ages 17, substance abuse. I will let you know that the juvenile goes in December of 2016 under utilization and consequently. So, however, management still remains. We have a caseload of about 30 youth a month, and some of those some are new intakes and such. Also, so some of the services that this management program places. We take referrals from probation, from the individual school, from the hearing authority, from behavioral health professionals, and self-referrals. So parents already and seek services. The intake case manager. We do one case. Funding is quite limited, but we have, upon intake, they are scheduled for a behavioral health assessment. One of our counselors also will then receive referral services based on the needs of each individual. So some of the referrals can include things like counseling, skills at the end, gender-specific life skills such as Girls Circle, and an outdoor life skills program. And then also we residential treatment if a client services that we provide with them with the program. So a snapshot management is anywhere from 2 months to 6 months. Begin with and the family, and then include things such as drug testing. Kids get back into school if they are having trouble due to suspension or something like that. Some tutoring. We can connect with these locations if that's something that they're needing. We can with counseling connections, and do not have a counseling staff, so we do refer. And then we also do 6-month follow-up to ensure that they are maintaining sobriety and things like that. We have a couple of boards that run our JSAC program. One of them is the Justice Board, really, and then the other coalition. SNAP is an acronym for the Strategic Network of Advocates of Suicide and Substance Use. And that coalition meets weekly. That coalition is a coalition of underage drug and prescription drug misuse and abuse. I believe as high next we'll get more information at that time. Currently we are we are than prior year, school year, into Chief Manual School and school in life skills, which is one of the services that we provide. Hoping to get back in this school year as well. Overview of all the at JCS referral management, which can be utilized by anybody who would like to make for a youth 12 to 17 for services. And that is all I have. Does anybody have any questions?
Questions, board members?
I have a question. In the brochure, I mean, I was the as one of the very end about being a male days.
That's a typo, and it should.
Oh, opinion.
Sorry.
So, but what does that mean? To increase their opinions about being a male in today's world?
So, council for an program, a variety of curriculum.
It's not.
Okay, that let's see. So peer pressure. How to identify young as man in today's society and in schools. Stress management. Just a variety of topics based.
Now
good with electronics. So it just gives them a lot of tools to help navigate their adolescence and their teen years.
Any other questions, comments?
I just want to make a clarification or ask. What
we serve McKinley County, and so typically when we do go out to Tohatchee, to Zuni, we city school. So we're a McKinley County program.
To speak on program. As you all know, I work at the as the executive director, and this we have it's a lot of our students, and they still come up. But I would really like to thank, especially I think a lot of programs that do service within our area, but not really check back on or do a follow-up. Individual assisting. One thing I appreciate, because they even though there was some trial and some hard students that have to for longer school, I get them. Some of them have gone through the talk and the different programs to get them off prescription drugs or drugs in our area. Places that special to that can help them, but I think the main thing is what keeps them in line because they know someone.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I think that's a real to this program. So I thank you for your presentation, and I thank you for the information that helps children. Thank you.
Mr. President, yes. I was amazed just a little about this not too long ago, a week and a half ago, and to find out the 2001 management since 2004 that at one time brought up briefly years about the we could more time to actually go into now, but I know that time is limited, so I will be going over your brochure. You know, it's a very it's an asset to our students, especially when your program is there to help our students, keep them in school, to help from being ended or a great asset, and I do thank your time.
Thank you, and I welcome any of you to come and. We're
board members, community. Claire and I just want to mention that W provided us with support. 2 years ago, they provided with a substance counselor at 3 of our schools, school and high schools, that helped us keep students within the school, not have them going out looking for counselors. Suspension, so to keep them. And I've been working with to see if we can get someone to get, and she's been very helpful in providing that.
Okay.
So our network, Lori, has been really valuable programs within the school.
Thank you, Mary. President Young, Superintendent, members, community. I'm Claire. I'm here representing the social work department for Gallup McKinley schools. I just want to let you know how important this program is to our department. We work specifically with the population, cycling through Sacramento. We've been able to work collaboratively with the case manager, Amber Led. At the school, she goes to the home, which we do at the home. So we do a lot of collaboration, and we really have seen recidivism go down through this program. So I really support it, and I help the board to support it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And also Superintendent, to hear more from, I believe it was gone maybe two years ago, and became but in Demas. I don't know if it's in the same area. Did a presentation that we never heard anymore. She did give a good presentation. And then we also had a presentation with the and the juvenile detention. Well, we'll try to decrease ditching, missing school, that time deal, and and so it's really good to hear you guys come back. But even though it's later, that I don't remember did, and people, there are services out there that they can turn to, and educate on these services as well. hope that we hear more, and it's not a one-time we back 2 years. You know, thank
We
you.
can
Though.
come back in 2 months if you like.
Thank
But
you.
thank you very much.
Down to item number report.
Um, I don't really have too much support. Okay, thank you to administration. They have done earlier to recognize today's event. Just to little. I did call around some of my schools and hear back of my schools. Tohatchi School, a total of 200 students showed up for school. Our Tohatchi Mid School, I believe 43 present, 144 school. Elementary, we have 233 students enrolled, and out of the 233, 40 and 4 for the half cleaning, and therefore 182 who did not show up for school. So those are just to let you know that, you know, I'm sure the parents appreciate Gallup McKinley County observing, respecting that, and allowing their kids to stay home. Figures to how many kids did not attend school today. Thank you. Okay. So I don't know if you could maybe add in your boarding report and maybe a figure. Students that showed up, or just to let us know.
President Long, Mr. Mitchell, we did a rough about student attendance, but I can get you specific figures later.
Thank you.
So, Superintendent Hyatt, how does that, I know don't look good, our percentages, but how do we count that as a district-wide? How will that affect our overall attendance percentage?
Day out of 178 is significant, but a little bit with respect to school grades. Notice then it'd be much more significant.
Any other reports?
Yes, sir. I had a couple of, and in Baca, and then I had another meeting. I was to Baca, and their second meeting, they're having a lot of issues with count of JOM district and the Laguna or Acoma, and not really us, but they were trying to use us as a role or get some ideas on what we've done within our district. Prove that all the way to transportation. Our is it system that does our attendance, like when you're, you get that phone call?
Through Power School, Power Announcement.
Okay, power announcement, yeah. They don't have anything like that, and, we kind of mentioned that to them, too. A lot of guys have this? Because, we're notified as soon as our child class. So they were looking at kind of things like that, that were in our program, and doing a lot to improve areas in that way. And I think they want to use us as a resource, and got a lot of questions directed at her about Indian, and of course with me on Johnson O'Malley previous years, that we're trying to help our neighboring school district. I will let you know when the next meeting here, or even president to see his and our the district next to us.
Mr. President, with that being said, I think that I'll mention one other. Gallup McKinley County at the fort of all our neighboring schools. Really an honor to hear now that they look to us for some type of and doing them good within our district. As happenings that they would like to use us as their role model and be of a district as we are. And I'm glad to hear that somebody would follow that our strategies and stuff that our administrations. I just want to say that. Thank you.
Question. I want to thank those meetings to share information. And also help with our public relations. A week ago, Mr. and I, we went to Pintado to meet with concerns that I believe we satisfied all their questions. We'd say go high some personnel, and also added some information that they needed. The next day, Tuesday, we went to Canyon Rock chapter and feedback on earlier visit that we did, and we did those answers to them, and most of the questions they had, we were able to and like Priscilla said, if you want to go to the chapter meetings with and help you presentations. And Chris, I don't know how many chapters are near.
27 chapter meetings over the last 2 weeks. We, the only thing really of value that I attended was at for athletics here at Miyamura and open house over at Rose. Nice to meet parents and of course meet that were there, and the new principal over at Rose. High hopes, and we all in our neighborhood have high hopes as well, and excited for the neat changes that are there. That is all I have to report.
Yeah, and I want to thank Ivana and all those that were involved and wanted me to send out information to chapters regarding today's eclipse. What we as a school do and all that, and so I want to thank you guys for helping me.
just to let the other two board members, Mr. Hutchinson and Mr. Schaaf, I'll give you this, but that you guys do represent Gallup High School is to rock manually. The Twin Lake Ranch, and then like Mr. Schaaf has Red Rock, Pinedale, Bread Springs, Yumbato. So I can give you guys a listing of this so you have of chapters that feed into your inner city schools and or made for you.
Let's note page September 4th is Labor Day school. September 5th is our Board of Education here. September 18th, Parent-Teacher Conference. Right, and September 18th, we have our Board of Education meeting at Six Elementary, 6 p.m. Old business, we don't have any. Let's go to
Big representatives, Ms. Piano, who will give a short presentation. And this is an item regarding our
Thank you, Superintendent, President Long. Wearing my tall shoes. Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you. And, you know, if you guys were serving food, we would have been coming to meetings a long time. So, that's for you. In the pack inside is the that we drop Hyatt with, and then on the other is just some fact information and about Big Sisters, and also a little ad for you for your time. So I'm Sarah Piano. I'm the Regional Director of Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Good evening, Long Board Member, Superintendent Hyatt. My name is Iris Vicas, and I am the Program Coordinator with Big Brothers.
We've been working for now as a youth mentoring program, and we have two programs, one in the community and then one in the school-based program. In the school-based program, either or high schoolers can mentor an elementary school student an hour. So we are currently in 3 schools in the district. We were previously in Tohatchee and would like to go back there as well. So we're setting with Tohatchee schools as well. We had an years ago actually with a pre, and then it just never got throughout the years, and we just kept. We were like, we should probably update this MOU. Here we are. I'm gonna have you guys a little bit about. I get the MOU previously. Okay. One slight change was where it talked about the McKinley County School District. And then what we do in the first part of it is that you would provide data. I wanted to be clear that we laws and that you can't be giving us all the data on the. But so I put a little said overall data, general grades, at school, and truancy rate. So just kind of it doesn't have to be real specific information. We're going to go lines of.
So like Sarah said, we're in 3 schools, and we have high school mentors that are identified by school counselors who have needs that are looking to some type of earning and to going to and then we them, and from that we're able to work with the elementary, and elementary the council same identifies kids at the elementary are elementary. They don't have a lot of friends at school, issues at home, maybe they're getting bullied at school, they just need some type of positive. We match them to interests, so if a school big, we want to find an elementary student that's also in groups. High school students go down to the elementary and they can either go to the playground, or else we have we can do anything helps them fun is what we're trying to promote. So they're usually for an hour. After that, up to the high school. So it's one specific day, one time going to the elementary throughout the school year.
If you have questions, but a lot of students who are really positive them at home, they're struggling with that. So not only is it beneficial for the elementary student, but it's beneficial to the high school student in the sense of learning leadership. Students that are high school often learn that they want to go into furthering into education field level. That's really exciting, and so I just want to make sure that this is a school district. I mentioned last year that a student was for 2 consecutive years or more. Then at graduation, in the graduation program, graduation cord and a little pin, and recognize them. So that's really great for when they're going on to college or other type of school. Example of the pins to them, and their name is also in the graduation program. We provide that so to the school, and that's just a really great. You can also put it in resume, college application, international. So even recognized.
Okay.
How many mentors do you have in our school district participating in? Softball.
So last year, 24 in Theroux and 11 in Navajo. That's based on getting the word out, recruiting students, and the students have to want to do it. It's all volunteer. So it's just students taking initiative, wanting community, help a child. It does vary.
It's also based on the space because in the lunchroom, I think it's right. They like to expand at some of the schools, and unless we can find space at the school itself, expand. What I want you to know is the high school students, they really there is an MOU that says need to be kids who have grades already, little to no behavioral issues. I mean, even if you have behavioral issues, for the
how many elementary kids do you have?
The same, because they're paired 1 to 1. Yeah. But we want, currently it's only at 3 schools, but we really to be staff all the time, so that we're making sure that they are, going off with they're meeting with the kid that we match. There's no issue. So we always have a staff site. We only have 3 staff total in our whole program. In our program, this is only one aspect. So Iris is in charge of this program, and we have a part-time staff. So expanded into every school just because of logistics of staff. But we were previously in Tohatchee, and it went away due to some prior administration at that school. And so we are looking at bringing that program, because we've had a lot of members in Tohatchee ask it. We are at meetings pretty soon.
Other questions?
Mr. President, I said I would like to ask approval on this.
Questions, Vanessa? Roll call.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Manuelito? Mr. Morton?
Thank you.
Thank you so
Boardman.
much.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you. Thank you for everything you do for our kids. Practice my Navajo. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Did I say it right? I said it once at a chapter house, and I said that means you're my relatives. I think I'm saying it right. It's all practice. Thank you again. We
Thank you.
Good evening.
The MOU. Go down to item.
Among members of the committee, we have provided for the legal services. I think it's explanatory with respect to the records of the committee.
Questions for members?
At this time, I'd motion to.
Motion's been made. Roll call.
Yes.
Ms. Manuelito?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr.
Yes. To item C.
Along members, particular item, Giovanna Hanks has on this to become more with respect to nation, relates to our board policy. Even if somebody were to bring in cookies, school, that would be considered a donation to our board. And so we're asking for some approval amounts that we before having to go to a meeting. We will offer any input that you need on this request.
President Long, members, superintendent, to the audience, we definitely want to expand our partnership with the community and letting people know how to donate to the school district. I have one area school district board. We do want people in that some either it's monetarily or that they can donate to our students to that. Give some for those small monetary threshold and then the school board for formal approval. Recommend a small part form that filled out very quickly. Donations. If someone would like a letter stating that they did the school. This is one area that administration way. That's not what we want to do. We want to, and we want to, if they have extra that they can give to the school district, we want to open the up a little bit to benefit our students.
Question? Board members?
Giovanna, does the policy about, does it, I mean, what's the allowance it has for marked donations, or how does it account for that?
So what this would do was delegate authority of anything under monetarily the principal site 800 threshold $1,000 superintendent on, because it would asset with depreciation the potential that would actually be approved by the school.
It is possible for someone to donate for a very specific purpose or some narrow purpose.
So if someone specific area, and one of the things we had is not just equality, equity. And so if someone has more than something and another, it doesn't mean it needs to be equitable or be equitable to everybody up to the same place.
Thank you.
Would be notified between 100 to 5,000.
Sure, and that's why I'm proposing that really quick part. So maybe I meetings
list of that had been donated. You guys would have that. That's why I'm recommending that it just that type of approval, because I think this is for example, we're donate cupcake sale because the next board meeting is 2 weeks away. Don't be very positive and bringing in atmosphere for our parents, and that's kind of some of the things that I would like to change. I would again like to make it an easy for those people who are willing to donate time and resources.
I think that's what I kind of met the last board, because I think it's crazy. This that this is coming around, that won't hinder our donation come into the district, and there's a need to appreciate all the board will be getting. That would be very helpful, so we know to our.
Absolutely, and you know, we are working on a new. You're going to be in the coming weeks, and I've talked to Superintendent Hyatt about this, about putting a process so that people understand what to do, to take, make it very apparent, make it very well. Like I said, our students every resource that's willing to get.
So this would be this thing will be implemented into policy.
No, Mrs. So this is not a change of authority.
Okay.
Yeah. Comments?
It makes a ton of sense. I mean, just the timeline, you know, it makes those donations and want to help out in any way they can. We are grateful for their time and effort, and want to and recognize that, and also make you know that we're grateful.
So, board?
I would like to make a motion that we approve the donation of authority Board of Education.
Motions? Call.
Yes. Ms.
Yes.
Mr. Long.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Number 8, the board will be hearing an update required to go. Need a motion?
I would like to make a motion that we adjourn executive session.
Motion's been made. Roll call.
Manuelito. Mr. Shaw. Mr. Mortensen.
Yes.
Mr. Long.
Yes.
7:09.
7:30. And we executive.
Yes. Mr. Shaw.
Yes.
Mr. Mortensen.
Yes.
Mr. Long.
Yes.
8:37.
Okay. Members of the board, we've been in executive session getting an update on the Henderson case, and that was pretty much it. We just got an update on the case. With that,
I make a motion that we adjourn.
okay, a motion's been made to adjourn. Roll call, Joan?
Mr. Mitchell.
Yes.
Ms. Manuelito.
Yes.
Mr. Shaw.
Yes.
Mr. Mortensen.
Yes.
Mr. Long.
Yes.
8:38.